Alright guys, I just got back from watching Cabin in the Woods, and I thought this movie was pretty awesome actually. I had the choice of The Three Stooges or Cabin in the Woods, and I think I made the right decision here because I honestly don't think I could watch Three Stooges with the Jersey Shore cast and all that stuff in there. I thought this movie was awesome. It is like a mystery. You don't really know what's going on until the very end, or close to the end, and then you start to see like what exactly is happening. Because just watching the trailer, they don't really tell you what's going on. So I thought that was good, and I was actually intrigued by what was happening. At first I was like, this is kind of cheesy, but then it made sense later, and it came across really well, I thought. The movie had some good action scenes, not very scary, but it was kind of more of a cool action movie with horror elements, and it had some comedy too, which I thought they really did a good job on. I thought everybody played their roles really good, and it just was a great movie. So I left thinking, wow, that was pretty badass. So yeah, I definitely recommend this movie. Now, if you want to know what happens, I'm going to tell you, so there are going to be spoilers from this point forward. Basically, you have these guys. There's 5 of them. You got the athlete, which is Thor, from the Avengers. You got this blonde chick. You got this red-haired girl who's like a virgin. You got this other guy who's like an athlete, smart guy. I'm not really sure what he was supposed to be. And then you got the stoner guy, who believes in conspiracy theories and all that type of stuff. So that's your cast of people here, and they're going to go stay in the athlete guy's cousin's cabin in the woods. So they go up and they get lost, and they meet this guy, Mordecai, I believe his name was, at a gas station looking for directions, and he tells them, you're just going to get killed or something like that, and he comes across as a big asshole. And they get kind of mad, but they go to the cabin anyway. And then we see like a bird flying over this deep hole, and it hits this invisible force-filled wall. So basically, once they get to the cabin, they're stuck there. They're trapped. And this all revolves around this game. I'm not sure of their names, but one of them, there's like these 2 guys, these scientists, who are running this entire operation. And we don't know what's going on, but they have cameras in the cabin. They're watching these kids. One of them, the head scientist, is the dad from Step Brothers. And then the other one is the Weasley guy from Billy Madison, who's trying to beat Billy Madison in all the games. That guy. So they're kind of funny. They make jokes and stuff. We'll come to find out, they have people come to these cabins. And this happens all over the world, and they've been doing these rituals where they sacrifice people to please these ancient gods so that they do not come and destroy Earth. So throughout all of time, Japan, Madrid, all these places have been sacrificing these kids to appease the gods. Because if the gods get loose, they'll destroy the world. And what happens in this scenario, I'm trying to explain this so it makes sense because it is a little complicated. They give you a little bit at a time in the movie, so I'm kind of skipping ahead here. But basically, the scientists have to kill every single person, and then they pull a switch, and then the blood goes to the gods. But all 4 people have to die. The virgin has to either die last or escape. It's optional for the virgin. So the 5th person does not necessarily have to die, but the other 4 do. And if the virgin dies before one of the other 4, the game fails. And all the other rituals at this time have failed. The people survive the monsters. So America is the last chance to appease the gods, or the world is destroyed. But the scientists are confident. They're not really worried. They know that they have this under control. And they use these monsters. They send the kids in the cabin down to a cellar. And in the cellar are all these little trinkets, dolls, necklaces, and whatever one they mess with summons that monster. So they read a passage from a journal, and it brings to life this zombie cannibalistic family who like worships pain. So they bring this monster out, and they got a whole list of monsters. It shows the scientists betting on which monster is going to come out. One of them's a unicorn. I don't know what the hell that was about. And then they got like molesting trees, mermen, giant snake, dragon, all types of stuff. And the redneck hillbilly cannibal family is the chosen one to kill the group of kids. So the family starts attacking them. They kill the blonde girl first. They cut her head off with a saw. Pretty sick. The athlete decides he's going to go for help, and he misses his jump. And he tries to make a jump on a motorcycle, and he hits the force field and dies. Marty, they believe, actually that's kind of a plot hole now that I think about it, because they assumed Marty was dead and was killed by a zombie before the athlete tried to escape, but I'll get to that later. So the blonde girl's dead, Marty's supposedly dead, and the athlete's dead. So the girl and the other guy, the smart guy, are trying to escape, and they crash into a lake. The zombie kills the smart guy, and then the girl is fighting with the last zombie. So the scientists assume, hey, everyone is dead. The virgin's the only one. Whether she lives or dies, it's optional. We succeeded. The world is safe again. But then Marty, the stoner guy, shows back up, and he saves her from getting killed. So then they're like, what the hell? If Marty lives longer than the virgin, the whole thing is shot. So Marty takes her back with him, and he found the cellar that leads down to where the scientists are. So he finds the elevator shaft, and he's like, I don't know what's going on here. He believes in all this conspiracy stuff anyways. He thinks the government's like trying to play them as puppets. So they don't know where they're going, but they realize they can't stay here with these crazy zombies killing them. So they ride the elevator shaft down, and it slowly shows them like ride by and stop at different windows, and more monsters are in each window. They have like this little girl in a ballerina outfit with her she has no face, it's just a bunch of circles of teeth. And then this other guy who's got like saw blades stuck through his head, a phantom ghost, all types of crazy stuff. It's really, really cool. But they finally stop, and a guy with a gun opens the elevator, and he says, get out of here. But he just wants Marty. But the guy gets killed. They fight him off. They take his gun, and they make their way through this like laboratory. And they find like this control room, and these security guys are coming. They're like a SWAT team. They're firing off all these automatic weapons. So they're in this control room behind bulletproof glass, and they decide, you want us to play this game? You can play your own game. They hit this button, and all the monsters get loose. I mean, all type werewolves, flying bats, all types of stuff. This like serial killer group that wears like masks, all types of stuff. It was really awesome. And they just go crazy. They kill all the scientists. The laboratory is just getting destroyed, and it looks like all hell's breaking loose and it's over. So they make their way to the head scientist, and he's trying to escape, and he bumps into him, and the girl stabs him on accident, thinking he's a monster. And he says, please kill Marty. And she just looks at him like, what the hell is going on here? She's trying to piece all this together. And they make their way, they continue on, and they get to the last room where the ritual blood flows and where the ancients are located. And they're standing on this big platform, and Sigourney Weaver shows up, and she tries to explain that if you can not kill Marty now, and the entire world will be destroyed and you can die with them, or you can kill Marty now and die for the entire world. And she pulls a gun, and she's about to the virgin girl is about to kill Marty, but then Marty sees a werewolf behind her, and the werewolf attacks her and messes her up really bad. So Marty grabs the gun and shoots the werewolf, and it runs off. But the virgin girl is hurt, and she cannot die before Marty. So Sigourney Weaver grabs the gun, and she's trying to kill Marty, but then she gets killed by another zombie person with an axe, because the monsters are just all loose over this building. So Sigourney Weaver dies, and she falls off into this hole, and we don't see the ancients down there. We just see like smoke and like some type of movement going on. So Marty and the virgin girl are the last ones, and they see the rituals, and they see that the blonde girl, which they refer to as the whore, is supposed to die first, then the athlete, then the smart guy, then the fool, and then the virgin, which is optional. But technically, I guess it doesn't have to go in that order, because they assumed Marty died before the athlete, but he really didn't. So that's what I was referring to earlier, as maybe that's like a plot hole or something. But the ending scene is Marty and the virgin are sitting there, and he's like smoking a last joint or something, and they're passing it, and she says, "I'm sorry, I almost shot you in the head." And he says, "It's fine, but I would have liked to have seen the ancients. That would have been like a cool weekend to see these evil ancient gods." And the last thing that happens is the building starts to crumble, and then we see like a gigantic black hand, kind of like melted, like it's on fire, just shoot up, destroy everybody, and then just crash down on top of the cabin. So it comes up all the way through the laboratory and just destroys the cabin in the woods. So the gods, the evil gods, are released, and everyone on Earth is going to die now. Pretty much. That's the end of the movie. But like I said, it was really cool. They showed all these monsters, and I didn't expect this at all. I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't really sure what the movie was going to be about. When I first saw the trailer, I thought it was going to be like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff type thing, but it turned into this whole other movie, and I really liked it. I thought it was interesting, and when they were talking about all these different monsters, I was like, well, it'd be cool to see some of these. And they actually did deliver. They showed all the different monsters, and they even showed like the giant hand of one of the evil gods. So I thought the entire thing was a really good movie, and I definitely recommend you watch this movie because, like I said, there's like action, horror, comedy. It was just great. Definitely worth it. One of the better movies I've seen this year as far as just fun entertainment goes. So that's my review of Cabin in the Woods. I hope you guys liked the review. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks to everybody who has subscribed. If you have seen this movie, leave your thoughts on it in the comments below. And that's it. So thanks for watching. Bye.